Ethan Klein, a disgusting, hypocritical, bumbling lard ass. So some have said. Actually, no, people have said a lot worse.
The worst thing about him is not only is he a mouth breather, because he's he's really overweight.
But not I. I'm actually part of the 0.5% minority of his original audience who stuck around. I'm still watching. Not just watching, I'm hooked to a possibly unhealthy degree, I must admit. I carry Ethan Klein around the house with me as I do my day-to-day tasks.
Did you get your passport? Did you
What are you
get your
doing?
shot?
And even out and about like walking a dog.
I'm gonna go to break. When we come back, Papa John, Popeye.
A dog that makes bomb threats. So if anyone knows how to construct a perfect hate video, well, it would be me. Not only do I have H3 credibility, I was kind of the one that added the reverb to that one Jimmy Lee clip, so...
It's not fully developed yet.
How long have you been doing comedy?
I think I just found my favorite soundbite of all time, man. Jimmy, that edit, that Jimmy, and they put the reverb back on.
Wow, it is good. The editor did a great job.
Yeah.
And not only that, but I've watched my fair share of hate videos at this point. And there really is no shortage of Ethan Klein hate videos. And honestly, I think there should be more. Only joking. It should be the only genre on YouTube. That way everyone would get loads of views. Because I'm telling you, these get views. After selling your data, this is Google's second highest earner. Haters and lovers of Ethan Klein alike, stick around and maybe you'll learn something. Right, here's the 4 points of attack that will ensure maximum viewership and watch time. Thumbnail, Ethan decline, fat man bad, and what? Garbage talking points summoned from the depths of nowhere, which makes you wonder, how did anyone come up with this stuff? Are you mentally deranged? They probably actually are, so no offense. And if you follow these steps, it won't be long until you yourself will be part of the Hate Video Hall of Fame, and there'll be a crisp AdSense check on the way. Huh? You're worried about credibility? You don't want to make false accusations? Shh! Shh! You're new here, aren't you? Don't worry. None of that matters, okay? None of that matters. Now tell me, before I get onto stuff like this...
To be a funny guy that made funny videos, he was pretty cool at one point. Now he's just a complaining fat loser.
What do all these thumbnails have in common? The rise and fall! Rise and fall again. Ethan doing exercise. A big graph going downwards. Hypocrite. Pathetic. Just the laughably most ridiculous thumbnails that my retinas can't even comprehend. The type where you have to do a double take just to see if they're parodies of actual hate videos. But no, they're real. Someone actually spent time plonked at their desk putting these works of art together, just so that someone like this stumbles upon it. Ethan Klein, the fake Nation dude I used to watch in high school, the most toxic man on the internet? Gee willikers, I gotta see this. Looking at this, it can only be described as an experimental, postmodern way of standing out from other thumbnails. That's the only way I can justify its off-the-railsness. Or perhaps it's more profound. Maybe the purple refers to the complexion of the purple evil minions from the Despicable Me franchise, suggesting that Ethan Klein is just a minion to the Matrix. Personally though, I think they just got a bit excited with the effects on Photoshop. But nonetheless, tell me you wouldn't click on that video. The aim is basically to make it look like a grotesque SpongeBob close-up. Like, these people go out of their way, scouring this man's entire internet career to find the most intimate shot to use against him, as if he didn't voluntarily upload it himself. It's not like they hacked into his laptop webcam and took this photo without his knowledge.
If I can just bypass Ethan's mainframe, bingo, caught in 4K. This is gonna look great in my thumbnail.
And then they just turn up every slider to 100 billion trillion %, or alternatively, they go down this route and make him look like, well, I don't really know, but it's definitely intriguing. Now let's watch one.
And Ethan becoming a worse version of who he was before is not just in my opinion, it's actually a factual statement backed up by statistics.
Our audience, it's kind of crazy, I never expected it, but like it's predominantly woman.
Yeah, it's great.
It's 60% women, 40% men. So it's not crazy. It's almost like at 50-50. But before, we were 90% men.
Yeah.
And so we lost a lot of the male viewers.
Yeah.
Oh no, I forgot about the statistic. 60% woman audience. Considering that boys rule and girls drool, maybe this video is right. Ethan Klein is toxic. What am I listening to? This man's just jealous because his audience is 101% men.
If I can't have a female audience, Ethan can't either.
I believe he's trying to convey the idea that a change in audience suggests that Ethan himself has changed. And whilst that's true, why is that inherently bad? And what does that have to do with a majority woman audience? Oh, I guess you'll tell us.
That his initial audience has essentially completely abandoned him and his new content. And if that's not telling enough to you, for the past 2 years, the general public has consistently been taking time out of their day to go and unsubscribe from his original YouTube channel that he doesn't even post on anymore.
Oh yeah, as if unsubscribing is a lengthy process. Let me try to understand this. People are unsubscribing from a channel that he hasn't uploaded to in 3 years. Oh my god, I hope Ethan's alright. That must be really scary. Right, Ethan? Yeah. Like, what is the insinuation? He thinks his fans are casting a vote of no confidence. It's really not that deep. Nonetheless, when you make your Ethan Klein hate video, never miss an opportunity to say he fell off. People will eat that up. I mean, you can criticize so many other things. Despite great viewership, they can't even surpass 3 million subs.
We'll be at 3 million any day now.
On our way to 2.8. I'm like Benjamin Button of YouTube.
Half of the episode runtime is taken up by bathroom breaks.
I gotta go to the bathroom.
All right.
So you guys do whatever you want, really.
He doesn't even pay his staff and keeps them there against their will. That's perfect. Use that. And that's not even to mention all of the bomb threats. He named the second chapter of the video Hypocrite, but he spelt it Hippocrit. Hey, King of Nothing, is your first name Smith? Because you, my friend, are a wordsmith. Hypocrite. Really good job. That's great. I love it. Maybe I'm just looking into this too far, but I like to think that it was intentional and that was his petty thought process. And basically, this entire chapter of the video is dedicated to bringing up old edgy comedy. We're talking clips from like 8 or 10 years ago. It's ancient history. So you're going to want to make half the video about that.
Despite what Ethan wants you to believe, there is not a single human on all of YouTube who is a bigger hypocrite than Ethan Klein.
Ah, hypocrisy, hypocrisy, hypocrisy.
A word that will follow Ethan Klein for the rest of his life. So much so that other people just take this word and blindly ride with it and attempt to find every trace of hypocrisy in Ethan Klein's career. And then they'll make this entire narrative around it to make it appear worse than it actually is. Even if what he said in the past has been disavowed or acknowledged in the present day. That doesn't matter, it's fair game. You've got to spend your entire video talking about Ethan Klein's hypocrisy. For example, in this clip where he comes at Ethan for reading a gambling sponsor some years ago, even though he has a strong stance against gambling today.
That Ethan has promoted gambling on his channel in the past, which of course he now explicitly speaks out against.
Gambling is such a f***ing venomous it's just such a toxic, poisonous activity, and if you have not tried DraftKings yet, head to the App Store now.
Then Ethan responds,
oh yeah, and I did one DraftKings ad, like, must have been like 6 years ago. We did one DraftKings ad for fantasy football.
On the podcast?
Yeah, we did one DraftKings ad a long time ago, and the thing was, it was for a fantasy football league. I didn't know, or I had clarified, is this sports gambling or is this just fantasy? And I think I was under the impression it was just fantasy. We did one ad with them and never worked with them again.
Not only was this many years ago, but he's emphasized that he's never worked with them since. And the conversation should end there, right? No.
First of all, they didn't do one DraftKings ad, they did 2.
It wasn't one gambling sponsor, it was actually 2.
Ethan Klein. He's lying through his teeth.
Lying on video like this is egregious. He's speaking into a microphone, looking directly into a camera lens, and just lying through his teeth.
Calm down, my dude. Here are some better examples of hypocrisy you can use in your video. He was negative about BTS in the past, but now apparently he likes them. That's gonna follow him for the rest of his life.
I just want to apologize to the Koreans, everybody who's a fan of the K-pop world. Is clearly ignorant to the intricacies.
And he even used to flush wipes down the toilet.
And I was wiping with the baby wipes, and the bottom of the baby wipes were getting dipped in shit.
What?
I'm telling you.
Is it not clogged?
No, I had to flush 3 times.
You just clogged like the whole LA city.
No, those are very those things are so thin they disintegrate in water.
Plus baby wipes.
The baby wipes, those, no.
That's a cancelable offense. And let's say Ethan Klein is actually a serial hypocrist. or a hypocritophile, if you will. What really is wrong with that, and why does it bother you so much?
First of all, they didn't do one DraftKings ad, they did two.
Why do you hold his every word to such high regard? To the point where he said something in the past that doesn't conform to his morals. You have to make an entire video about it.
In all seriousness, let's talk about Ethan's main form of hypocrisy, which is just straight up lying in front of a camera while talking into a microphone.
And a lot of the time, it's Ethan making a joke. Then everyone jumps on it like it's his real opinion.
Life's too short to exercise. I'm just gonna be honest. There are so many better things to do than exercise. We have finite time on this earth.
Here's the thing, will that exercise extend your life more than 3 years?
No!
It very well may.
Hey man, did you hear?
Huh?
Ethan Klein said exercise was a waste of time.
Ethan Klein said what about exercise?
Yeah, he just straight up said it was a waste of time.
A waste of time?
Oh yeah, dude.
No.
Your testosterone's making you super emotional, dude.
I know! And at the end of the day, hypocrisy, if that's what you want to call it, it can demonstrate change and growth. That's good. And if you feel hurt and betrayed by Ethan's words, I'm sorry. Anyway, if you put hypocrite in the thumbnail with a bold, chunky font and an image of Ethan made to look like Robbie Rotten, you can guarantee some views. Which makes me a hypocrite, I guess, because the video with that thumbnail got no views. I love the idea that someone spent a good amount of time putting this video together, knowing it would do well, and it does terribly. They must have that Tom Ward curse.
When the spectrum shifted to where it was more profitable to be the SJW than to react to them, that is also exactly when Ethan decided to become what he once used to mock. That is not a coincidence. Let's take a quick look at the fan base that Ethan has cultivated over the last few years as a result of his political extremism.
Mention men and some women of the H3 subreddit. Stop referring to women as females. Now, I don't know what, for whatever reason, I guess I'm guilty of saying females up until recently. I stopped. I started saying women.
People dislike Ethan because he became exactly what he used to make fun of.
Okay, why are you so invested in calling women females? As a non-woman myself, I'll just say whatever the popular opinion is, okay? But I'm not gonna go out of my way like...
Ethan and Gila's next quest to milk their fans out of all their hard-earned money is their merch company, Teddy Fresh. And in my opinion, it is by far the worst, most manipulative, dishonest YouTube merch company ever created.
I feel like whatever I say to defend Teddy Fresh right now, you might think I'm a little biased for some reason. So, no, don't cut to my sandals, don't cut to my sandals. And in the final chapter of King of Nothing's video named Ethan Klein is a menace to society, which I find so funny for some reason, like he's a cartoon bandit.
Given the reach that the H3 podcast has, I believe Ethan has one of the highest net negative impacts on society as a whole.
Highest net negative impact.
Right behind those who directly worsen the lives of their fans, such as creators who promote gambling on platforms like Stake.
Jeez Louise, you make him sound like Alex Jones, when in reality, he's worse than Alex Jones. Watch this clip.
Like
so
11.
Charles Darwin's a great thinker.
Wait.
This man went to the Galapagos Islands.
Yep.
And the Galapagos Islands is interesting because there's basically been no human evolution there.
Toxic, disgraceful, foul, disgusting, hypocritical menace to society right there. And because there's an abundance of creativity behind these hate video scholars, they've gone leaps and bounds to make their thumbnails unique. That's right, he only went and made another video. The main points I could take from King of Nothing's second video is accusing Ethan of scamming his audience. Okay, that's a serious accusation. Comparing it to Logan Paul's cryptocurrency situation where investors lost a lot of money. You better watch this, it's going to be great material for your video.
Jokes are typically free. What Ethan did with his H3 NFT collection is the exact same thing that Logan Paul did with his Dink Doink scam.
But how exactly did Ethan scam his audience?
The part which involves exchanging money wasn't a joke at all, because Ethan and the crew sold about $150,000 worth of these NFTs.
Wait, that's not a scam. That's just how NFTs work. By this logic, anyone who's ever sold an NFT is in the wrong. This would make Gary Vee a criminal mastermind. And you can't give him that credit when this is all he had to do to get there. On second thought, I suggest you don't mention the NFT scam in your video, because all it achieved was making me understand why he's really called King of Nothing. Speaking of, listen to his next take.
First things first, we have the fact that you basically need to have a parasocial relationship with Ethan and Gila to ever buy one of their merch items. Ethan also refers to his fans as family.
Family.
A Vin Diesel meme. Family. It's pretty gross and cult-like how the H3 fanbase chant family over and over again. No way are you trying to take down Ethan and his entire fanbase over a Vin Diesel meme. King of nothing, disgraceful work. You had so much potential.
The sad decline of Ethan Klein.
The video caused Ethan to lose a significant number of subscribers and...
No way did this man drag his cursor backwards to make it look like Ethan's numbers were dropping. Wait, someone's calling. Oh, it's a terrible video, police. I suppose the target audience for that video wouldn't have the mental capacity to notice it anyway, but that is so good.
However, he was also accused of having the video removed due to his ties with YouTube CEO Susan Wojcicki.
You hear this time and time again.
Corporate golden boy due to his ties with YouTube CEO.
Ever since Susan Wojcicki, the former CEO of YouTube, was invited to the H3 podcast, people have been twiddling their thumbs behind their screens, thinking they're onto something when they say that Ethan and Hila have these deep, behind-the-scenes ties to the CEO of YouTube that gains them all sorts of privileges, like not getting banned. Then in the exact same video, they criticize Ethan for constantly getting banned.
Some people might not know, but there was like a conspiracy that I'm best friends with Susan, and that's the reason I don't get banned, which is especially ironic considering I've been consistently banned.
Yeah.
More than any other person, probably.
Then as this video comes to a close, it's so unnecessarily dramatic.
What lies ahead for H3H3 Productions? Will they reclaim their comedic crown and rise above the ashes of their tragic downfall? Or will they succumb to the weight of negativity and fade into obscurity?
And you ask yourself, did I miss something? Why is he talking like that? Also, I'm genuinely unsure if this channel is completely AI generated. And it's not just his non-existent views. When you hear his voice, he doesn't sound like someone who's in tune with online drama.
But what happens
when
the
he's real,
preacher
that's real.
strays from their own sermon?
I think.
As our story unfolds, a stunning revelation
I
comes
actually
to
have
light.
no idea. Wait,
A
what?
YouTube-
That's quite enough of that video, thank you. And here we are, the people's choice for YouTube commentary videos. Sunny V2. The disheartening downfall of H3H3 Productions. Of course he has something to say about all this. It's not like anyone goes, oh, I wonder what Sunny V2 has to say about Ethan Klein. Those words have never been uttered in all of time and space. I'm guessing his video is going to go somewhere along the lines of, in 2022, Ethan Klein was coerced by an employee to wear makeup, which led to his downfall and turned him transgender and gay. What I find funny about so many of these Ethan Klein hate/commentary videos is the unnecessary build-up and world building.
Within this group was a young Israeli woman that went by Hila Hackman, who was attending mainly to take a vacation from her mandatory military service. Hila, which was someone that at the time Ethan perceived to be an outcast, like himself, decided to introduce himself.
Outlining Ethan and Hila's entire life lore like it's the Marvel Cinematic Universe.
Act 1 was pretty cool, I guess, but Act 2 was like top tier H3 Productions. Act 3, however, he's kind of a walking L. He fell off. I mean, what the flick? He literally wore makeup, and
watching these breakdowns of his life, you just wonder why it's irrelevant. I'm here for one reason, to find out why Ethan Klein is a walking L. Why are you telling me about the 2008 recession?
Something not so romantic, however, was the 2008 recession that made it difficult to find any job in their college town full of students looking for work.
And at the same time, all of these formal graphics pop up that you typically see in a Vox or Johnny Harris video. This is a video on the Vape Nation man, the Beanie Chub and Tuck man, not a video on warfare and geopolitical events. Hey, get those graphics out of here, what are you doing? You just know it's going to be a long ride when a video on Ethan Klein begins on the 2008 recession.
Something not so romantic, however, was the 2008 recession.
I'm surprised he didn't mention the asteroid that plummeted down to Earth and killed all the dinosaurs, and how that led to Ethan Klein's demise. Now, you're probably wondering how Ethan Klein became the most hated man on the internet. The story starts on September 11th, 2001. But don't get me wrong, all this filler is good, because when you do this in your video, the increased video length Therefore, watch time will make you more money. I have to also point out the over-the-top Bollywood editing, like this isn't just a video on YouTube drama.
Why do we have a natural inclination to hate the accumulation of wealth? Why, when a sponsorship comes up in a YouTube video, do we get that compelling feeling to click onto any other garbage that YouTube has spat into the recommended column on the right-hand side? Is it the fact that seeing someone with more wealth makes us feel like we've come up short in some way?
Once you throw in a vignette, eerie music, and slow motion clips, I can no longer take it seriously. I feel like I'm watching a documentary on a horrific murder case. But no, it's about a YouTuber. Oh, but they must have done something really bad to warrant an entire video on them. Not really. Well, there was this one thing. Oh yeah? He said life's too short to exercise. Oh my god! Yep, and his audience is 60% women. What? I know, it's a really, really bad look. What?
What happened to the Ethan that literally could not care less about what anybody had to say about it?
Even as someone who has no connection to this man other than a parasocial relationship because I own clothes from his wife's brand. And he said my name once.
Yo, shout out to Herbie here. Herbie too.
That
YouTube. That edit.
Herbie.2. Yes, thank you so much.
So fucking funny, man.
You know,
even I can't imagine there was ever a point where he didn't care what people thought of him. Even more so, if I may say, as a person who has no connection to this man other than a parasocial relationship, he probably cares less now than he did before. You know, he's got a business, he's got a crew, he's got a family. You got it all backwards, Sonny V2. Your thing's flipped. Now, I just want to draw attention to the Fat Man Bad display over here. It would be a low blow to bring Ethan's weight into the conversation and use it against him, right? We can all agree that's wrong. Besides, that has no impact on anything at all. So that's exactly what we're gonna do. It will lay a beautiful foundation for your video, just like this man did here.
We're talking about H3H3, aka Ethan Klein, aka Little Estrogen Cycle. He used to be a funny guy that made funny videos. He was pretty cool at one point. Now he's just a complaining fat loser that just bitches about everything. I don't know how else to describe him.
I don't know what to tell you. That video got 250k views. You gotta do what works. He then goes on to telling a few fun jokes. It's a really funny comedy bit.
Over the last 2 years, all he's been doing is complaining and getting into drama. That's all I've ever seen come from his side. He's a little drama queen. He kind of reminds me of this old lady that lived down the street from me at one point, and she wouldn't stop complaining about little ass stuff, and she wouldn't shut the fuck up. But going back to Ethan.
Oh yeah, that is so relatable. It's like he was setting up a story, then accidentally cut out the punchline in post.
If you were to look up the definition of bitter in the dictionary, his face would just pop up.
Like I said, this video got 250k views, so you have to trust the process.
Dude kind of reminds me like a chihuahua. You know, they're always so angry at everything, but they're just all bark and no bite.
Did this really get 250k views? Yeah, it did. Wow, okay.
And honestly, just looking at him, he could pass as a crack user. This is legit. This is more of a factual statement than a joke.
This is my genuine reaction watching this video. If you couldn't already tell, the bar for these videos is lower than Ethan's hairline. Also, on the topic of... I just want to quickly go back to this clip, where Ethan jokingly says,
life's too short to exercise. I'm just gonna be honest.
Now this is pure gold. That's a harmless joke, right? Not like anyone would take it too seriously. Not like anyone would take offense, right? What is that? What's that? It's the gym bros. They're coming.
The worst thing about him is not only is he a mouth breather, because he's really overweight. I'm 6'4", 110 kilograms. I got my fucking muscles. I got my cars. I got my big ass house. I got the jacuzzi. I want to date the fat guy with a podcast who's short.
I think if you just got jacked, everyone would love you again.
Even
if you said the same shit, they'd be like, "But he's jacked though."
Life's too short to exercise.
This is so destructive to the younger generation, yet this guy is telling the younger generation to be fat, be lazy. Firstly, being in shape makes you attractive. Imagine you wake up and there's a Greek fucking god right next to you, muscular, shredded to shit. That's going to be much more motivating.
Excuse me? What?
Oh, you can't make jokes these days? Yeah, you can't say anything these days. People just get offended. What can you do? Who are you kidding?
And finally, even outside the mega library of Ethan hate content on YouTube, you can also find some great material in the deepest crevices of reddit.com, where you'll find the H3 snark subreddit. If you've never left your room and Yeah, if you've never left your room, you'll feel really at home at the H3 Snark subreddit, with posts such as, I'm selling Ethan's home address for $20 each. If any of you think this is unethical, you're wrong and he's part of the 1% and also a misogynist. And someone responded to that, any of you who think this is fake, it's not. I drove by his place and saw his lawn sprinklers on full blast like there isn't a water shortage. Then someone responded to that, I checked out his house too. It was night, so I couldn't make anything out. But I swear I could hear his kids in the distance, like there isn't an overpopulation crisis. So cringe. Okay, that was never posted, I just made it up, but I promise the next one's real. Ethan was born on June 24th, making him a Cancer. Coincidence? I think not. And then someone responded, I have to watch the H3 podcast over the toilet in case I vomit. Then someone responded, oh my god, I thought I was the only one. Hi girly. And someone responded to that, kind of cringe that you watch in the first place. Okay, that wasn't real either, but I'm doing this for your own peace of mind. If I showed you real posts from the H3 Snark subreddit, you'd get traumatized and I'd get demonetized, so it's not helping anyone. Sure, maybe this is horrific journalism, but I don't want to give them the time of day. It is truly a frightful place of bitterness, jealousy, and tomfoolery of the highest degree. No, but really, looking through the H3 Snark subreddit is like sitting in a portaloo on a really, really hot day and it being flung around on a crane really fast. Just really nasty. Anyway, they're just well-adjusted people writing thoughtfully constructed criticism. Let's just hope and pray that one day they find their way out their bedroom. The door's just here, you can do it. And there's a lovely big world out there outside of reddit.com. No, don't make a snark post about this video. What are you doing? No, stop. Oh, hi police. They doxed me. Wait, they killed who? My entire family? No, they did not hack my Minecraft account. Oh my god. Okay everyone, I've set you up with enough information and guidance to make your own Ethan Klein hate video. Trust me, you have everything you need. And remember, the bar cannot go any lower. Do as little research as possible. Make baseless claims. And when you're out of material, just go after Ela. Also, don't worry H3 crew, this isn't me fishing for a job. If I moved to America, I'd have to pay for insulin. Okay, please subscribe. Oh, and also become a member.